Hello guys, how's it going? Today is a very wonderful day, and I have a very nice and fun video for you all. Um, Seeing as things have been going real perfectly in our society today, I just thought make a video and cheer you guys up. Um, I can't really think of any big issue that needs addressing at this point. I mean, except for the obvious issue that except for the obvious issue that has really got the whole world paying attention. Um, yeah, the Johnny Depp and the Amber Heard trial. Yeah, like the cross-examinations, the evidence being brought up, some people being accused of perjury, man, real dramatic stuff. But aside from that, I can't really think of anything else that probably has any urgency attached to it. Mm. Wait, what was that? You say what? The shootings? That's not news. That happens all the time. That's not news. Is that news, guys? Mass shootings? Nah, that happens all the time. Like I don't know why he's bringing it up. Like like that's some surprising thing that just happens. Like shootings happen all the time. It's really not a big deal. I mean, there's nothing we can do about it. It's just one of those unpredictable and unavoidable disasters that happens. Sometimes we have floodings, sometimes we have snowstorms, and then sometimes we have people buying semi-automatic assault rifles and going into public spaces and shooting down unarmed civilians. It's just one of those things. I mean, what you gonna do? I mean, you don't expect like with like start panicking and trying to make sure this kind of thing doesn't happen again. Like it's not like it's a 9/11 level threat. It's just people losing their lives. No landmark was attacked or anything. So I think bringing that up is kind of irrelevant to this situation. I'm sure you will agree with me on that one. Yeah. Mhm. Oh, sorry guys. I kind of got a little bit emotional there for some reason. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me. It's not really an emotional issue like that. I don't know. I'm just too sensitive about this kind of things, I guess. So yeah, and things are going on around the world, and the usual things are happening. The stock market is plummeting. Crypto is always consistent with the disappointment. Lucid stocks tanking. Tesla not doing so good at the moment. Wars going on around the world. All the usual places except Ukraine. Yeah, you're still going on Ukraine. So yeah, no like real noteworthy development happening right now. So we could just like chill and have fun and enjoy this nice light-hearted video on YouTube, right? Yeah. What? Speak up. What you saying? Ooh, 18 children. Wow. Apparently 18 children were killed while they were in school. But I don't know what you guys want. Why are you guys making such a big deal out of it? Like this is like a common thing that happens all the time. It's like making a fuss whenever it rains. Sometimes it rains, sometimes massacres happen. There's nothing anybody can really do to prevent such occurrences. Um, I believe we've had how many was that? 27 public shootings in the past 5 months. That's averaging about, let's say, 5 shootings per month, give or take. That's I think that's fairly consistent. If you guys will agree with me, like 5 times a month, that's more times than I receive a paycheck each month. So I think that's a like qualifies as a regular non-eyebrow raising situation. So everybody just calm down, cool down, and go about your days. I mean, you probably won't get shot at if you're in public. By my calculations, um, if we're getting 5 shootings every month, and this month is almost over, so we probably won't get any more this month. We already have a few already. So you'll probably okay to go grocery shopping, send your kids out. They'll probably be okay. They'll probably survive. Send your kids out and go to the park and go party and enjoy yourselves for the rest of this month. Then next month, just wait. Once you hear about 5 different public shootings, then you can go out. Just one of those things you have to plan for. Like when you see the weather is gonna be rainy, you take an umbrella. So when you've calculated the amount of um, uh, expected mass shootings, once you've hit that number, then you can go out and go about your days. Yeah, just one of those things. Like, people are giving politicians a lot of heat for what happens, and I think you guys don't understand how busy politicians are. It is kind of unfair and very insensitive of you guys to expect politicians to fit this kind of discussion into their schedule. I mean, they have campaigns to run, fundraisers to attend, the regularly scheduled unproductive bickering they do in the Senate and in Congress. And, between all of that, they're supposed to now fit in discussions, like serious discussions about gun safety laws. Like, come on, guys, be reasonable. Like, what are you guys trying to do? Like, don't be unreasonable, guys. It's just one of those things that happens in society. Yeah, yeah. I don't even know where to start with this conversation. I've been thinking about it ever since it happened, and I don't know where to begin talking about this issue. The main thing that prompted me to even start making this video in the first place is seeing the discussion that is surrounding this issue in the aftermath. And it's the same discussion that happens every time it happens. This issue has been divided into two sides, which is already a problem in of itself, because that means you're either for or against. That's the discussion we're having in this conversation, for or against. No in between, no conversations. Everybody's just pitted against each other. And that's like one of the most destructive and unhelpful rhetorics in the history of humankind. The us versus them narrative. That is, people say, a lot of people say like religion is the worst thing to happen to humanity, and without religion, everybody will be, perfectly reasonable creatures. But I won't go into that in this video. That's a topic for a different discussion. In this video, I want to focus on the us versus them narrative and how I see it playing out in this situation. And I feel compelled to speak up against it because I see it and I can't not talk about it. I actually wasn't gonna make this video. I was planning on, telling you guys about your boy graduating with the associate's degree, I was gonna start doing more animations in my videos. I was just like preparing everything. My character design was, pen work getting down. And then, something like this happens, and then you just have to like freeze in your tracks and see what's going on. And I've been watching both sides of the argument, and for the most part, the discussions surrounding these things are in no way productive or leaning into getting an actual discussion, an actual like resolution or solution rather. I've seen some really good conversations concerning this issue, but I feel like I need to add my own 2 cents to it as a matter of necessity. I feel like I need to, because I feel starting earnest conversations in good faith actually goes a long way in creating solutions rather than just radical ideologies being espoused by either side or with any kind of temperament. So my issue again, I'm rambling guys, with the us versus them narrative. So there are 2 sides to the discussion as we have framed it. On the one hand, there's people saying the guns are bad, and there is no reason why anyone would be in support of having guns as a fundamental right. There is no sensible reason why anybody in their right minds should want to have guns be easily accessible. That is a problem. That's a problematic way of phrasing it, because there is a reason. There are actually very strong reasons why people want guns and why people want guns to be easily accessible. How do we know there is a reason? Because it's still happening. So there's a good enough reason for a large enough number of people as to why gun safety laws are a bad idea, that they haven't happened yet. It's not something that is just generally accepted as common sense that this is what's no. There are actually good arguments and strong reasons on the other side for why we want to have guns in our houses. But without having that conversation with people on the other side and just saying things like there's no possible reason why anybody in their right mind should want this, that kind of alienates people and just says, that ambiguous mass of people over there don't know what they are doing and they are the problem. Yeah, if I was on the other side of the argument and somebody is referring to me in that light, I don't think I will feel inclined to sit at the table with you and talk. And on the other side of the argument, now, the other side of the argument, this is what really prompted me to make this video. The way the argument is being framed, the reason why I think the other side of this argument is the most toxic of the two. They are both toxic, but this one is rapidly leading to a dangerous part. And the reason why I think so is because of the way the conversation is being framed. Very few of the facts and the actual issues are being addressed, and I see more of grasping at straws and finding other things to blame rather than addressing the main issues. And one of the biggest problems why I think that is not changing or has not changed yet is because the people leaving the conversations on the other side are either ignorantly or deliberately and pathologically trying to lead this conversation into the worst possible paths they can find. I'm going to highlight somebody's name. This might be a bit controversial, but I hope you guys will hear me out. Tucker Carlson. I have listened to this guy talk about this issue and not address the issue. The us versus them narrative is heavily weaponized on this side of the argument. On this side of the argument, you hear things like, are you hearing what those people are saying about us? Those people think that we are stupid. Those people who do this and that and this other stupid stuff think they are more morally superior to us. And we should not let them talk to us like that. Are we really going to stand for this? They are trying to take away what rightfully belongs to us. Like, this issue is not even that big of a deal, but these things that they do are so much worse that we shouldn't even entertain a conversation with them about this issue because we know what we're doing. We are fine, upstanding people. Our morals are better. I mean, look at our kids. Look at little Billy Bob Joe. He's doing really good. Look at little Timmy. He's doing fantastic. A very fine young man. Look at little Adetimileyin Olamileko Akoni, the third. Look at him too. Very fine, upstanding young man. So, but look at this other side. Look at them. Look at what they are doing. Disgusting, isn't it? Very disgusting and infuriating. And now they want to tell us what to do. I mean, if you like watching him talk, you can count how many times he uses like those people and us and we and those kind of things. Like, I don't want us to underestimate how influential those things are to like the human psyche. Like, those things get us riled up a lot. We see it in sports, we see it in families, we see it in religion, we see it in politics. Whenever there is a them and there is a us, it brings out the deepest passion, either for good or for bad, in people. And when you're talking about an issue as sensitive as this, involving the loss of human lives in such a large scale, using this narrative doesn't help in any way. And it also doesn't help when Tucker Carlson says stuff like that, and then I tune in to CNN to hear what the reasonable people have to say. And they are saying the exact thing that Tucker Carlson is accusing them of saying. They are like, yeah, those people want guns and those people are the problem and they are the reason why we can't make a difference. It's like, I know there are very complex issues and complex conversations that need to be had surrounding this issue. It is impossible for everyone to agree on any issue. We can't even agree as collectively as humans that water is wet. How much more things pertaining to constitutional changes, But when we're having conversations about something that is this serious, it is important to come into a conversation with good faith and have real talks and real conversations. And from what I've seen, I don't think it's something we can rely on the politicians to do. I don't want to go into that right now. I might, but this is not something we can leave in the hands of politicians at all. Conversations with either people who have like platforms to speak. I've seen a few like Joe Rogan clips, and it's fascinating to me because I see a clip of him talking with somebody about gun control from 2 years ago, and they were having this same conversation. I actually like the way he framed the arguments in that clip, because he was coming at it from a level-headed perspective and actually making good points for the other side of the argument. And the host was trying his best to also like make sense, but there were faults in his logic every now and then. And then I saw another clip from 3 years ago where he was having a discussion with a guy named Ted. I can't remember the last name, but he was having a conversation with a guy named Ted, and the guy was on the side of everybody having guns. And basically the argument was that the reason why we have so many victims of gun violence is because we have so many people who are not armed that should be. And if more people were armed, then people wouldn't be so bold as to walk into a Walmart and start shooting because they know they'll probably die. I vehemently disagree with that stance, but I appreciate the conversation that was being had in that clip. The funny thing was, while they were talking, a shooting happened, and the news broke while they were talking, and they had to interrupt the program and insert like the news about it. So this is like something that happens like very very regularly, and I just hope that instead of doing the usual bickering and giving the usual speeches, we actually like have these difficult conversations, sit at the table with somebody that disagrees with you, and then talk about it. I've been in a few conversations with people who are on the side of they want guns, and they are not the way they are typically depicted in the liberal side of the media as hateful, ambiguous mass of people who don't know what they are doing or what they are talking about, are just like operating out of hate and fear. No, they are actually reasonable, level-headed people who have actual reasons why they believe they need to have guns as a matter of necessity to defend themselves. I might be wrong about this, but based on the conversation I had with a few people who are on the side of gun control, at the base, at the base of the need to have guns, I think from my perspective of what discussions we had, it seemed to me like it was based on a fundamental need for them to be able to protect themselves, and not to protect themselves from somebody who's going to like break into their house, or protect themselves from somebody who's going to come into Walmart's like guns blazing, but to protect themselves from a government that has become too powerful or tyrannical. Because there are people with a strongly held belief that the federal government doesn't have their best interest at heart, and they need to have guns in case they need to fight the government. I'm not joking about this. Like, in the conversation with somebody I was talking to about, we weren't even talking about like guns in the first place. We're talking about how censoring is going on in China and how tyrannical North Korea is and those kind of things. And then the guy just randomly switches like, yeah, don't worry about that, son. Like, that kind of thing would never happen in America. In America, the guns in the hands of civilians are way more than the guns in the hands of the American military. So if the government were to ever try anything like that and the citizens were to take up arms, they will be able to put the government in check. And he was saying that to reassure me that I had nothing to worry about. I had the statistics I had was there's almost 400 million guns in the US. That almost over 100 million more guns than there are people. I mean, I would actually like to understand why that is. I understand that people like to have guns, people collect samurai swords, for example, people collect cars, and I don't think there should be laws to limit somebody from the amount of cars that they can get. If they like to collect cars, they have the right to spend their money where they want. But even if they like to collect fast cars and sport cars, the roads still have speed limits. You still have to have a driver's license. Your license can be taken away if the government for any reason determines that your driving skills are not up to par to manage a vehicle on the road. And I think that kind of thing should also apply in respect to guns. Like, I get it, you want to protect yourself and your family. You don't want to be caught lacking when the ops pull up. You know what I'm saying? But when an 18-year-old is able to buy an assault rifle for for his birthday and he has two of it. That's a problem. When actual children are shooting at the police and police are shooting at children, it sounds like we have a gun problem. And taking into consideration that America is not the only country that has guns or that has mental health issues, but it seems to be the only country where this happens on a regular basis. So there are discussions to be had there, like why we see people taking up arms and shooting people in public, and a lot of times we hear, oh, they have mental health issues. Why does somebody with mental health issues have access to guns, and not just any guns that are meant for like the battlefield, guns that are not meant to like hunt deers? These are like weapons of mass destruction. Why does somebody with mental health issues have access to such a weapon? I think that's a question worth asking. And I hope we can now, because I'm talking, it's more like a stream of consciousness kind of thing based off things I've been thinking about for a while. But I would like to actually talk to somebody who 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 has strong opinions on why we need guns, and to actually like have earnest conversations to an earnest conversation on this issue and what the best solution to it should be, or if there should be even any solution, or if things are just like fine and dandy the way they are. I want to hear what people actually think and not just like the usual rhetoric. I saw a clip. I'll insert a clip into this video. But I saw a clip where it shows like the speech from like different presidents for like 3 presidents ago, and they have the same speech every time this happens, and this happens every time. Our thoughts and prayers are with you. And then it happens again. Oh, why in God's name is this thing happening? I don't think God has anything to do with this issue. I might be wrong, but I seriously doubt that the issue we have with guns is up for divine intervention. I think this is something we are doing to ourselves, and we should probably address it, because if it's God, that means it seems to be singling America out for this issue. So yeah, I actually disagree with that. So I'm thinking of doing like a live stream. If anybody wants to have a conversation about this, to talk about it with me, I would like to talk about this with you guys. Probably I'm thinking of doing like a live stream whenever I find somebody who wants to talk about it. If you know somebody who knows somebody that would like to have this conversation, that would be awesome. Let's talk. And you don't have to show your face, or it can be anonymous. The conversation is what is important to me. This kind of topics is not what I was hoping to address. My next video was gonna be me telling you guys about my, awesome animated adventure into animation and stuff like that. But I think this is important, and I'm not trying to do this because like I enjoy conflict or anything. I'm actually a very conflict avoidance kind of person. Confrontation stresses me out, but I feel deep in my bones that this video that I'm making needs to be made, and I need to at least try. I need to at least try, and not just like stay at home and be like, oh well, it happened again. I mean, what are you gonna do? So do I have any other thing to say about this? There's so much more to be said about this issue, but I hope we can have more earnest conversations, and not just the liberal or the conservatives. My issue with Tucker Carlson is I see him as somebody who is either very intelligent and knows a lot about the human psychology and how the things that like influences it. Either that or is somebody who is just a sociopath because he uses his words very carefully and very precisely, and everything that comes out of this man's mouth is extremely divisive. It is so divisive. It is almost, I don't know how to put this. It sounds very much like the same kind of dialogue that happened in Germany in the 1940s. It sounds very similar to the kind of conversations that led to the catastrophe that happened in those times. I started this conversation talking about the us versus them narrative, and that is what I see playing out if we don't have conversations about this thing. You might say, oh, those people were racist, and it's the people in Germany at the time were not all genetically predisposed to extreme violence. They are like more than every other person is. But human beings as we are capable of extreme malevolence and extreme benevolence at the same time. It's kind of one of the most fascinating things about ourselves, like psychologically speaking. So when you find yourself in a situation where things aren't going too well, you find yourself in a situation where your every waking moment is in despair, the economy is in disarray, it seems like your opinions don't matter, you don't know how to feed your kids, and the world kind of looks at you with scorn, and then someone comes along and says, how you doing? Not so good. Yeah, I can see you're not doing really too good. And it's quite unfortunate because you deserve better. We deserve better. I mean, what did we ever do to deserve this? What did we ever do to deserve this? Our children can't eat. Our economy is plummeting, and our national pride is in the gutter. And the whole world is laughing at us. Those people are laughing at you. And there's nothing we can do about it. Our hands have been tied behind our backs, and we are being punished for crimes we did not commit. We are being treated unfairly by them. They are doing this to us, and look at them, they are doing very good. Look at them, they are prospering. Look at their countries having all these weapons and such a strong military. Why we have nothing to show for ourselves? Why do they have the right to treat us like this? And you begin to think, yeah, that is true. Like, why are they treating us like this? And come to think of it, we are actually better than them. Like, we are all reasonable people, right? We know our right from our wrong. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, we all know our right from our wrong. We have a good moral compass, and we can determine what is good from what is bad. So how dare they tell us that they are morally superior over us? Like, look at our culture. It is obviously the best. Look at the way we treat our fellow citizens. Look at the way we treat our elders. Our culture is very good. Our culture is better than their culture. They don't do this. They don't do these things that we do. They don't talk the way we talk. They don't act the way we act. And then they want to claim superiority, want to claim moral rank over us. No, no, no. We can't have that. We have to speak up for ourselves. We have to fight for ourselves. We have to take up arms, and we have to make sure that they can't treat us like this anymore. You see, that whole bit I just did. If somebody with a lot more charisma and a lot more eloquence, who is not stuttering and stumbling over his words like I am, was to phrase that, and especially if it's somebody who is also in the predicament as the general people, if such a person is able to frame a conversation around they are doing this to us and we need to fight back, it will be very easy to gather supporters. It will be so easy to gather supporters, and that is what happened in Germany. Like, to pick at you like we need to fight them. They are the bad ones. They are not like us. At the extreme of that is they are not really as human as we are, you know. And that doesn't it has never ended well. And I see Tucker Carlson as somebody who is using very, very dangerously similar rhetoric. Mm. I'm going to put a pin on that, and I'm going to leave that there. But yeah, for now, that's all I can think of to say. I probably should have written a script to get my thoughts in order, but I wanted to just hop in front of the camera and let her rip. Yeah, I'm not going to do too much editing to this video. I'll do enough editing that it makes sense, but not so much that it's very fancy. But yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Uh, yeah. No, for real, the video is over. Like, this is the end. See you guys in the next video. Um, if you do want to hang out a little bit more, I do have some things to tell you guys. Um, Subsequently, since I have more time on my hands, and now your boy got the associate's degree, in game design. So I want to be doing more animation in my videos. I was actually preparing a whole video for that when all of this came up, and I felt the need to, to address it. But here, guys, for real, about the live streaming stuff, I feel like for me, it would be a very good way for me to have, like, to really dive deep into various tangents of conversations, because I'm kind of scatterbrained. I'm kind of all over the place when I'm thinking, and I don't really want to like write a script to make these videos, because whenever I write a script and I'm trying to like talk and follow the talking points I have in my script, I feel so fake. I don't really like that. I prefer to just like come up and just say the things that come to my mind. But it's not like I'm just coming in like randomly. These are issues that I've actually like been thinking about, and my best ideas about them at the moment. That's what I bring forward. I know like I'll probably be wrong or ignorant in a lot of issues, but I feel like that's why conversations are so important. And when I have somebody like to talk to and they're asking questions, I'm asking them questions. The conversation is I'm able to dive a lot deeper into the conversations than if it's just me talking in front of my phone camera. uh, yeah, if you guys want to are down for like a live stream, you just let me know in the comment section. If you have my contacts, you can just text me to or slide into my DMs, and let me know your thoughts on the issue. Then we could try and figure out the best time to have like a stream like that. Struggle stream a little bit. Um, Either that, or we could just do like pre-recorded videos, and I invite somebody that I think will be able to create an interesting conversation, and we can just kind of have that. But I'll prefer the live streaming route, so that I can kind of have the chats, chiming in, and also somebody that I'm actually talking to. I think that would be interesting. I would like to give that a try. But I also want to do like animated videos. Your boy is pretty scatterbrained. But yeah, this was a kind of a bummer of a video, but I feel like it had to be made. I feel like I had to say something about it also, you know. But yeah, thanks for watching up to this point, I guess. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Deuces. For real this time. Like, bye.
Our country is sickened and outraged by the senseless evil that struck Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas, only yesterday. These innocent kids were simply going to school.
So tonight, I ask the nation to pray for them, give the parents and siblings the strength in the darkness they feel right now.
Shootings, but I do want to play a clip just to get your reactions, because I think, you know, when it comes to that, there are different things. So I think taking a look at a clip and then coming to get you guys' reactions. So let's take a look at that clip.
We're getting our first look at the 12-year-old boy who cops say opened fire at deputies, along with a 14-year-old girl.
He looks like he could be in the principal's office for some silly prank at school. But this 12-year-old is in huge trouble with the law.
She's got the AK and the shotgun. She's wrapping it around the top of her neck.
Then came the stunning realization that they were being fired upon by children.
All right, let's not engage them anymore. Let's not challenge them. Just hold behind hard cover. We're just going to hang out here. Let me do this. Don't do this.
Back up and use the same words every time.
Hillary and I are profoundly shocked and saddened by the tragedy today in Littleton, in Southern California.
By the news of the shootings at Virginia Tech.
Roseburg, Oregon. It's an elementary school in Newton, Texas.
Parkland, Florida. Michigan. The prayers of the American people are with you.
We are praying for them.
Laura and I and many across our nation.
Our entire nation, with one heavy heart, is praying for the victims
and their families.
Plenty of politics in life is scripted, but when the script is this easy, familiar, when it melts into a kind of Baroque set of talking points for the murder of children, that is one among many signs that we are getting something wrong.